Oh, hello, hello, and welcome to Tunisia's Locks Beauty Tips and Potpourri. We are talking about some very important stuff today. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you are coming back, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. I hope that you are feeling peaceful, productive, and prosperous. Today we're talking about edges. Now, edges are super important because to me, this is a high traffic area. It's kind of like a yard. If you walk in the yard over time, you don't even have to worry about cutting the grass in that area. It's going to eventually die. If you have a pet that continues to walk along a certain area, it's going to form a trail in your yard, and eventually what's going to happen is the grass is going to thin out. And if you don't do something to protect it, eventually it's going to thin out so much that you won't be able to regrow anything there. After a long period of time, it will just become barren. Our edges are super high traffic areas, okay? Very high traffic, and they have to be treated with the tenderness that is required in order to maintain them. These are very sensitive areas of our hair because they are the first responders. Similar to our skin takes the beating from the elements, our hair, our edges takes the beating from just about every bit of styling stress that we do, especially if we are wearing styles that pull on this area. So I want to talk to you today about some of the things that you need to be mindful of. But before I even begin, my first caveat to you is do not turn your hair journey over to your loctician or to someone else. That includes me. Be the point person for your hair and be the advocate for your hair, and do what it is that you think your hair needs in order for it to grow, and be very well informed about the status of your hair and what is going on with your hair, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to care for your hair like you do. I don't care how concerned they seem to be, or how often you go to them for your retightenings. If you don't know what's going on with your hair, you're going to wake up one morning and a lot of it will be gone, or it will have thinned out, and you will wonder why you were not told along the way. Don't be in that position. So let's dig in. The first thing that I do always is I always retighten the front parts of my hair. I started doing that quite some time ago. Reason why is because my hair is most thin here. My hair is weakest here. My hair is strong as hell right here. I don't care what I do to these. They're not going anywhere. I've even split these more than 2 times. Okay, this hair, it's straighter here. You know, the softer and the kinkier the hair is, the more wavy the curl pattern, the more tender the hair is. The coarser the hair is, the more tender the hair is. This hair is straighter, so it's very, very strong. Okay? The other thing I want to say to you is I always do a retightening in between this time and when I do my major retightening. Now, when I go into Efrage or NECA and they do my every 10, 11, close to 12 week retightening. Why? Because y'all, nobody's going to be as tender as you are, because nobody loves your hair, your locks as much as you do. And I don't like excessive pulling around this area, especially if the hair has gotten a little tangled. And so I prefer to make sure that by the time I go into a retightening, if there are areas up here that need to be retightening, it's maybe 1 rotation. Because I want to be the one that deals with this most sensitive area. The other thing is, because this area is so sensitive, and it was important to me that I have a lot of tiny locks up here. Initially, I had some larger locks, and I had Efrage to split them for me. Because they're tinier, when they marry, you don't have as much give. You can't afford to lose too many hairs in trying to pry those hairs apart if you're not careful. So it's super important. So that's what I want to do. I want to just show you now. It's been about 3-4 weeks since I retightened anything up here. I did my own retightening this last time, and it took place over a period of time. Overall, it probably took me 3 weeks. I didn't work on it every day, so my hair is going to be at different stages. So I need to monitor my hair as I go. And if something seems like it can't wait for another 7 weeks, which is when I'm getting my next retightening, because I'll be at about 10, 11 weeks for some areas of my hair. Then I'll need to go in and do a few rotations so that by the time they get to my hair, it's sort of even in terms of the rotations, but also my hair, certain parts of my hair has not grown past a certain point, and it's just too much to deal with. So first thing I want to tell you when we talk about these edges, this is why you need to have, first thing I'm going to do, this is a new bottle too, so you have to excuse me. This is the I Am Melanin Magic, and for those of you who've been ordering the oil a lot, you know initially when you first use it, you have to pump it out quite a bit. But this stuff is an excellent detangler. So before you start doing anything, you need to spray the area that you're getting ready to work with, okay? Spray it right directly on the hair. Be generous in this particular instance, okay? Give it about 30 or 40 seconds before you start to manipulate it, okay? And then find that area. Okay, for me it's this. I pulled this to the side this morning, okay? So you see this is a lot of fuzzy. There's fuzzy here, all right? What I do is I single that out a little bit. I'll give it just a gentle twist, okay? Y'all know that I have several needles that I use, including the nappy lock tool, which is wonderful. But in this area around the front, I want something thinner. And this is I think this is either the small or the extra small. I don't want to be pulling this big thing through there, even though it's super smooth. Also, because it's so short, there are times where I can move faster with this because it's longer, even though ideally that one is probably better for the hair and it slides through. It creates much less friction and it's wonderful. And because you have a larger head, it doesn't take as long, all right? So all I'm going to do, I'm going to be super gentle. Now, nobody can be this gentle with you. Nobody is going to be. They can be, but when they get around to the front of your head and they're trying to make that 3.5 hour quota, and quota is the wrong word, but guess what? Guess who's going to be in a mess? You. And you're going to hear it popping. So it behooves you to consider doing your own retightenings, period. End of story. Now, it also behooves you, if you're waiting longer between your reties, to make sure that you unmarry your locks. I know y'all hear me talk about waiting longer between your reties. That works for me. It may not work for you. But if you're going to be doing that, you see you don't hear anything. And because I put this wonderful oil here, it's smooth as hell. You don't hear anything. This is the I Am Melanin Magic. This is the premium product, the hair oil. It's spray. Less is more. This that you saw me spray is way more than is needed. This stuff is going to help grow your hair. And while we're talking about this, edges are important because they receive a lot of stress. It's like knowing that those of you who believe in sunscreen, going out in the sun is going to damage your skin and not doing anything to protect it. It's about being proactive. Even if you're not having thinning, it's about being proactive. For me, I firmly believe that had I not been so vigilant with this oil over all these years, because of the tens of times that I've dyed my hair, okay? Because of all the dyeing that I've done over the years, I can tell you for sure that I don't think that I would have been as fortunate between that and the picking of the lint and all of the other stuff if I had not been fortifying my hair. Now, mind you, I was fortifying down the length of my hair at that time. I do very little down the length of my hair now. I may do this and I may do this. Seriously, twice. That's about it, okay? Because I'm focusing on the overall health of my hair at this point, and my hair is very long, okay? And too much oil, as light as this blend is, it needs to be rinsed out. It needs to be shampooed out effectively, okay? I have to be careful about extra weight. Everything is extra weight at this point. You understand what I'm saying? My hair is long. And had it not been for the excessive picking of the lint and pulling my locks out and breaking the ends off, I would be in far worse situation. Now, you all, so you've got to consider doing your own locks. You got to consider what is the quality of nutrition you're going to put in your hair. You must strengthen your hair. There's nothing to discuss. I don't care what they're telling you. If there's nothing else that you do, if you're not a believer in using oil on your hair, and there's nothing else that you do, you need to make sure that you put a little oil on your scalp. Strengthen that scalp, all right, while you still can. Don't wait until you have a problem. Be preventive, be proactive, all right? Now, you all know I don't like the plucked chicken look, right? When I do all of my locks, I have the plucked chicken look. It's always worse on this side because this side of my hair has just been naturally thin my entire life. Never thought twice about it. Up until about a month and a week ago, I started using this right here. And this is going to be the video. I just put it right here. This is going to be the video where, for real, I'm going to add the before and after pictures for some of the ones that you all send me. That's all I do. Okay? For about 2 weeks, I did this 5 days a week. And then I got a little slack, and maybe now I do it once or twice a week. I am starting to grow little fuzzies in here that I did not have before. This is an area that I gave up on a long time ago. I just figured that's how my hair was. This is the magical hair growth serum. It works. So if you're already experiencing thinning, you need to get something that's going to feed your hair. This is more medicinal. This is the all-in-one product. That's a detangler, that's a conditioner, that is going to help keep your hair feeling good, smelling good. It's antifungal, anti-funk, it's antibacterial. It also will help your hair grow. Many of you who have regrown hair in areas that you had no hair, this is the product that you use. Others of you are using this. It's going to have a little bit of a tingling in it because it has cayenne. Don't let that bother you. However, do not use any of my products without following the directions on the back and doing a patch test first. That's just in general, because these are products that are a synthesis of many different ingredients, and it's important that you see how you respond. Others of you are using them both, which is fine as well. I didn't tell you to use them both, but you're using both and you're getting great results. I would still say use one first and then work in the other. This is a spot treatment. You do not want this all over your hair if you're not having baldness all over your hair. You want to treat the area that is of concern because this is a thicker serum, okay? But anyway, same thing. This is not at the tip, but I go into that area. I make sure I'm nice and detangled, okay? And if I have to kind of do this, I'll do this. I'm going to get on this thing. Really, though, you guys are going to see some growth in this area, because it's literally just little frizzy, tiny little peach fuzz coming in. And these are products that when your hair starts to grow, you don't have to worry about if you stop using it, it's going to break off or you're going to lose the hair. You don't worry about that. But you do need to maintain a good hair hygiene if you want continued growth. And that's in anything that you are doing. If something is working, then continue with what's working. Take a break every few months. See how your hair performs. And then if you need to return to something, go ahead and do that. This is kind of weird for me, you all, because I'm just not, I can't really see. I'm not close enough in my mirror, all right? But I'm grabbing a lot of my baby hair, which is fine, because all it's going to do is come back out anyway. It's just going to come back out. By the way, this has cayenne in it. Do not touch your eyes. Rub your eyes after you've used this. But so you can see what I'm talking about. Doing your own retightenings at the front, even if it's just the locks that are very tender and very thin. If you have a lock that is thinning, you may be the one that needs to do that retightening, especially if you don't want to combine a lock. First and foremost. Second, again, use something that is going to build the integrity and strength of your hair and help to fortify it. These products are wonderful, but if you're not using these, use something else that works for you. Number 3, stop with this. Stop pulling your hair back like this. I see so many of you all having braided this in a cornrow. You have about 10 cornrows going across here, and then they're going up. That's a no-no, or that's a special occasion. That's not an everyday style, y'all. This is the style. This is what we get. This is the abundance you want to keep long-term. Steer clear of a lot of those types of hairstyles that pull your hair back. When I do a messy bun, you'll see me. I do just like this. I'm not pulling this. Watch this. That's what I do. I keep it simple. Kiss and keep it simple, stupid. That's what I do. I'm very little pulling on my hair. The most that I pull on my hair is when I'm putting on my clothes and my hair gets caught in here and I have to pull it up at the back, and sometimes I'm not as patient. And also if I'm doing those curl styles, the pipe cleaners or the wrap-a-lock tools, that's when I do a little more pulling on my hair. I don't mind pulling back here as much. This area is stronger. This area is strong, but this area, as I mentioned, is the face. This is the area that's on the front lines. It takes the beating. So you have to watch out for the extra pulling when you're washing your hair. Be careful to make sure that you're not putting too much pressure and creating too much friction as you're doing this. Just gently massage the hair. That's all you have to do. Keep in mind that this is going to be the place where you're going to start to lose hair first if you're not careful. So this is the place that you have to baby this hair. All right, even with all that I'm doing, who knows, as hormones shift, as other things shift. But I tell you one thing, if something happens, it's not going to be because I wasn't on the job and I didn't assume the position. I did these 3 last night, so this is fine. It's going to be because of something else, and you need to be able to say the same thing. As I mentioned, no one is going to care about your hair as much as you care about your hair. So this stuff is very important. When you're washing your hair and you're braiding and banding it, don't pull too tight. When it's time to shampoo, some people, when they braid and band, I saw a video one day, the lady was plaiting her hair so tight. To me, I didn't see how that was going to serve the purpose of braiding and banding. It was literally, her hair was so constricted, I wasn't sure if her hair was going to be able to even get clean because it was so tight. The braiding and banding, it needs to be loose. That's how mine are. I do it very loose. I don't pull it unnecessarily on this area. I do it very loose. I get to the end. I'm tired of plaiting, but I get to the end and I just put a little mini rubber band on the end. All right. And then when it's time for me to wash, I do plait all the way down to the end though. But it's not a very tight plait. And then I tie the end, and then when it's time to wash, I do a lot of this. I do a lot of this, and I do this. Sometimes I'll use the hair and you let the hair massage. All right, but that's an important thing. Number 4 thing that you want to do, I think that I named the washing part. I talked about the nutritive stuff. I talked about possibly considering doing your own retightnings on the top. Now I'm going to talk about the retightening schedule frequency. Find what works for you. All right, 10, 11, 12 weeks works for me. All right, but I'm also monitoring my hair. I know now that the more I use this, the more my hair is growing, the more I have to check for marrying a lot faster than normal. If you're going, let's say 8 weeks, then you need to be checking every 2 weeks for marrying. These locks will marry quickly. And if your hair is growing fast, you need to be checking. If you're going every 9 or 10 weeks, you need to be checking every 3 weeks. You got to stop what you're doing, y'all. This is the maintenance that's required. And you got to make sure that that baby is fully separated. And that any stray hairs that are growing, because we have a lot of different growth phases happening in different parts of our head, that your hair is separated so that by the time you sit in that chair with the person that's going to be responsible for maintaining your locks, you don't hear tearing and breaking because you didn't unmarry the locks. It doesn't matter. Doing this, I have found, is not sufficient. I used to rake my hair like this. It's not sufficient. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this is one of the cost benefits. The cost benefit analysis. You got to stop and you got to just check them all. And even you can't just make sure you pull them apart. Some of them will get more tangled in a certain area. You've got to check them. Okay, and you got to be very tender. And again, use something to spray your hair with. Your hair doesn't need to be dry. I'm a little weird with water, but some people say use water for detangling or even use a detangling spray. But this is super, super important. As I mentioned with your retightening schedule, this is why we need to unmarry these locks. What's going on here? Yeah, see. And if it's back here, I'm more liable to just kind of pull it a little bit. But that's not good for you. That's not good for us. That's more or less my impatience. But the bottom line here is to find the retightening schedule that works for you, because in reality, if you're going 8 or 9 weeks between retightenings, you're going to have some tangling. Maybe you're the one that needs to wash your hair before you go so that you can take the time to detangle. Maybe you don't need to wait until you get there and let them wash your hair, and then it's going to get all tangled and matted, and then they start going through there. Maybe that's not what you want to do. As you get longer in this journey, I'm just trying to stress it gets so important to pay a little bit closer attention to what's going on with your hair, because a lot of times when we're talking and someone's doing our hair, y'all, we're not always paying attention to what we may be feeling or what may be going on, or the amount of tangling that we may be experiencing. And believe me, I even notice sometimes when I retighten my own hair, sometimes it seems to tangle a little bit more. Okay, that's an informal observation. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm wondering if there's a connection between the amount of tension I put on this needle and the give, or the room to breathe, that causes the hair to stretch out more and grab for other hairs in the neighborhood. So you want to be careful about that. I think I covered the main aspects of what it is that I wanted to cover today. Yeah, this is something I gotta have my daughter look at. She helped me with the back. It's fine, but I can't afford to have any mistakes back there, because in the past I did, and as a result I have a couple of really thin ones at the back from the root, because I pull the hair out of impatience. But your edges are important, and if your edges are important to you, give your edges the extra care that they need. Make sure you're massaging on a regular basis, okay? Make sure you're not using anything synthetic on your hair and the edges, especially if you're already losing hair. You may want to lengthen out your retightenings if you're already dealing with edge issues. If you have a lot of little stray hairs here, a couple of these over the years, I have added an extra little lock too up in here. If you can get to a point where you have a little extra hair and you can turn something into a lock and it gets to be this long, do that. For me, even if it means taking off one of these, taking off a tip and doing a transplant and connecting it with something up here, if it will help the hair to grow and help you to preserve the hair. Because what can happen in these very thin areas is just like if you had a braid extension. What happens is the hair is so thin, okay? If you're waiting too long, or you're not doing the retightenings the way you need to, or paying attention to the marrying, then you're going to end up with a very thin strand there, or something that may marry something else. And when you try to dislodge it, if you're not careful, or if you're not using something that's going to help to detangle, you may find that you may lose a little hair, or the weight of whatever it is you put on it can compromise the lock. So in these areas around here, you want to make sure that the retightening cycle is sufficient. If your hair grows a little faster around this area than in other areas, or if it seems like it does because the locks are thinner, then you need to do something in the interim between the time you start noticing the growth and when you go back in for your next retightening. I hope that this video has assisted you. If you want to find the I Am Melanin Magic products on the website, please feel free to go to IamMelaninMagic.com. This is not the newest label for this product, but this is the Magical Hair Growth Serum, and this is the hair oil, which is 8 ounces, and it's a spray. This is more medicinal. This has a lot of stuff in it. This is quite expensive to make. Just for the 30 milliliter bottle of the stinging nettle, I paid $200 for that, and it doesn't go that long. So this is going to be quite a bit more, but it's more medicinal. It has quite a bit of high-end, hard-to-find quality ingredients, or quality hard-to-find ingredients if you're looking for the quality ingredients. So keep in touch with me. Let me know how you're doing on your hair journey. For those of you who are using the products, I would say these products work for 70 to 80% of the people. If you're looking for some type of hair growth initiation in areas where other products have not worked for you before, there's a healthy margin of failure for some very, very odd situations. But I've even had some cancer patients experience hair growth in this area. And my dad, who has male pattern baldness, has had hair to thicken up in this area of his head. So the idea is consistency. If you're going to be using this, use it at a minimum every other day. If you can afford to, use it every day, and less is more with all of these products. They will last you for a while. You really don't need that much. I'll be offering some discounts during the Christmas season for those of you who want to send these as gifts. Just order it and put the address in of the person you want it to be shipped to. And if it's a Christmas gift, then just let me know that. And I will send something a little special in there that says Happy Holidays or something like that. You are with Tanisha Ali of Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips and Potpourri. I hope that this video has helped you in some way, and I hope to see you on the other side as your hair becomes more abundant and your look becomes more luscious and you fall more in love with everything about you and this journey. Peace, love, and light to you. Okay, happy October. Oh, and for those of you who want to stick around, let's pull a card from the Good Tarot and let's just talk about it. For those of you who want to stick around, I have not used this deck in ages. I'm in the process of relocating, so you can see one of my shelves is gone. All of my 270 decks are in transition, but I have the most important ones that I work with here, right here on this table. As I get settled, hopefully in the new setup, maybe you all will like it more. But hopefully as I get set up, I'll be back in business over the next week. This is a message for whoever's watching this, all right? We have the 8 of Swords, but it's reversed, okay? So for me, you're looking at things differently. Whatever it is that has had you stuck for a minute or had you feeling a little suffocated or trapped or confused, maybe you were in your head a lot, maybe you had a lot of doubts, maybe your fear and your negative mind was getting the best of you, or related to a particular situation that's trying to close out in your life. You're trying to manifest something, okay? And I feel like for some of you, this may have to do with a job just because of some of the other cards that I'm seeing. But you got some really positive stuff going on with the World card and the Sun card here. This is positivity on the horizon, things that you're trying to manifest. You may not be totally out of the woods yet with the Magician reverse. Either this could be someone in your life who's not really honest, who could be kind of a trickster or a con artist or a liar or a thief. But more than that, this is you having doubt. So you want to watch your mindset, not having doubts, because you're moving out of a doubtful period of stagnation. But this is you still needing to be careful of your mindset and the thoughts that you allow to populate your everyday consciousness. With this 8 of Air here, swords in the air are about our mental energy. And the 8 of Swords is a feeling of restriction. It can also be a connection that's difficult to let go of, some type of negative attachment. But with this card being reversed, you're moving past a lot of difficulty and you're starting to feel yourself ascend or transcend a particular situation. And with the Sun card, you're definitely on the winning team. So fear not, don't worry about anything. Keep working hard, keep the balance. Okay, keep the balance and be conscious of your thoughts and what is going on within you in terms of how you're feeling and how you're processing your reality. As much as you can, be very intentional and be very mindful. This is an important time as we are in the last quarter of 2021, and how you perform in this quarter is going to determine the type of start that you get off to in 2022, which is going to be a wonderful lit year in all manners of speaking. Love to you, my beautiful butterflies and perfect people. Thank you for supporting the channel. We're approaching 20K soon. Can't wait to get there. Going to be doing some giveaways. Going to give away 10 bottles when we get to 20K, okay? When we get to 20K, going to give away 20 bottles. So make sure you watch and you stay tuned, okay?
If you are not using Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic skin and hair care brand. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage and promotes growth and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and microlocks to wigs and protective styles. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and it's anti-funk. So you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Denisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. This is really all your hair needs. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. It's amazing. The product speaks for itself. Order yours today and don't delay. Don't delay, purchase yours today.
I am Melanin Magic,
And so are you.
I'm going to do my best to add those images in. If I haven't added them in yet, and I talk straight the whole time, I'm going to put a few images before and after right inside the beginning part of the video. Love y'all. Bye.